Just imagine, what if all the talent of your favorite player suddenly transferred into you and that poor guy became completely useless? Something like that is what happens in today's story. At the start, we meet a 16-year-old boy named Brian. Ever since childhood, he dreamed of becoming a basketball player. But even after working really hard, he couldn't make it into his school team, the Eagles. Instead, he was given the job of carrying towels and water bottles for the team. One day, Brian was watching a basketball match of his favorite player, Kevin. Kevin kept sinking shots one after another, winning points for his team like it was nothing. Brian was blown away. That day, he promised himself that he had become just as good as Kevin someday. Motivated, Brian started practicing with full energy. He kept trying to make shots, but every time he failed badly and even fell over. Meanwhile, after winning the match, Kevin got surrounded by reporters and fans. His agent Alan helped him escape the crowd. The next day at school, Brian was talking to his best friend Mitch when they saw a new girl, Isabel. The moment Brian saw her, his heart started racing, and he began smiling like a fool. Isabel smiled back too. Later during lunch, Brian couldn't stop staring at her. Mitch warned him not to fall for Isabel because everyone in school thought Brian was a loser. But Brian said, "She's new, she doesn't know that stuff," and decided to talk to her soon. Just then, a bully named Connor played a video on the cafeteria TV. It showed Brian trying to jump like Kevin using a trampoline, but he ended up getting stuck in the net. Everyone laughed at him. Brian felt humiliated and quietly walked away. Isabel felt bad for him. Later at home, Brian was sitting sad when his dad came in and gifted him 2 tickets to a basketball match. Brian got super excited. Soon they went to the game and Brian was thrilled watching Kevin play live. During the break, the host announced that one lucky audience member would get a chance to make a basketball shot and win $200. The winner turned out to be Brian's dad, but like a true dad, he gave the chance to Brian. When Brian went onto the court, he noticed Connor ready to record him again. Nervous, Brian took the shot, but instead of scoring, the ball hit the team mascot. Embarrassed, he was about to leave when Kevin himself met him, encouraged him, and even gave him an autographed basketball. Brian said he wished he had Kevin's talent. Kevin replied, "Hard work beats talent." As he handed over the ball, a strange energy suddenly transferred from it into Brian. The next morning, Brian heard on the radio that Kevin played terribly after the break and his team lost. Brian felt bad but went to school. That evening at a fair, Brian and Mitch saw Connor trying to win a teddy bear for Isabel by making shots, but he kept failing. Brian laughed and Connor got angry and challenged him. Brian nervously took the shot and nailed it perfectly. Then he kept scoring again and again, shocking everyone. Connor left in frustration, and Brian won the teddy bear and gave it to Isabel. They started getting closer. Meanwhile, Kevin was struggling badly in practice. He couldn't make shots anymore, and both he and Alan were worried. At home, Brian realized his skills had improved overnight. The next day, he showed up at school court wearing a jersey. The coach initially refused him, but after insisting, Brian got a chance to prove himself. He easily outplayed Connor and even defeated the coach. Impressed, the coach added him to the team. Soon, Brian started winning matches and became popular. Everyone wanted to be his friend, and he got closer to Isabel. They even fell in love. On the other hand, Kevin's performance kept getting worse, and the media started criticizing him heavily. Even his ad shoot failed, and he got kicked out. One day, Alan saw Brian on TV being called the next Kevin. Realizing Brian played exactly like Kevin, he suspected their talents had somehow swapped. Alan took Kevin to meet Brian and made them shake hands, hoping the talent would transfer back, but nothing happened. They even spent the whole day together, but still no change. Meanwhile, Brian became arrogant. He stopped passing the ball and played selfishly. Even though the team won, his friends were unhappy. Kevin, on the other hand, kept failing and got humiliated publicly. Brian threw a party to celebrate his success, but Isabel didn't like his new attitude. She tried talking to him, but he ignored her, so she left upset. Alan confronted Brian and told him the truth about the talent swap. Brian refused to believe it and said he wasn't giving anything back. The next day, Brian saw Kevin's poster and felt bad for him. He decided to return the talent. He called Alan and they went to Kevin. At first, Kevin didn't believe them, but when Brian performed Kevin's signature move, Kevin got shocked. They tried swapping back again, but failed. Later, Brian apologized to Isabel and told her everything. She didn't believe it at first, but after seeing the video, Brian realized something. The mascot incident. He rushed to Kevin's match and repeated the same situation, hitting the mascot again. Then both of them held the ball and said the same words as before. Suddenly, the energy transferred back to Kevin. The game resumed and Kevin was back in form, scoring brilliantly and winning the match. The next day, Brian had his final match. Without Kevin's talent, he struggled again. But then he remembered, hard work beats talent. He gathered his team, admitted he wasn't playing well, and encouraged teamwork. They played together strategically. In the final 10 seconds, they needed 2 points. Brian took a 3-point shot, and luckily it went in. They won the match and everyone celebrated, lifting Brian on their shoulders. Kevin smiled and left. So yeah, if you got the chance, which famous player's talent would you want?